Well, good evening and welcome to Town Talk. And I'm trying to figure, what's this? Oh, that's the War Memorial. That's where we are. We're at the Cotton Mill, is behind us.
Oh, yeah,
And that's the Vietnam War Memorial. My name is on here.
yeah. Yeah?
Well, I served in that era.
Oh, thank you for your service. I forgot to tell you the last time, actually. Thanks for your service.
No, I tell people, don't thank me because they took me kicking.
You still went, though?
Well, I had no choice. We either go or go to jail. I got drafted. But after I got there,
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. And when I got out, I actually went into the National Guard when I got home from the regular Army.
Yeah.
So, and I think the Army did me a great deal of good because I was kind of a wild kid when I got brought in.
Yeah.
And I came back, I quieted down, ended up getting married, and now I've been married almost 50 years, for crying out loud.
So how long were you in Vietnam?
I didn't go to Vietnam.
Oh, where did you go?
Went to Germany.
Germany. Oh, okay. How long were you there? That's where you were learning?
Yeah, 18 months.
Yeah.
I got sent there in November of 1968. And what had happened, a lot of people forget, in the summer of 68, the Czechoslovakians started revolting against the communist rule.
Mm-hmm.
And the Russians sent in tanks and everything else to quell the rebellion. And there was a lot of concern at the time that what was going on was the Russians were going to invade Europe
Mm-hmm.
because the U.S. was tied down in Vietnam,
Oh,
and they
okay.
figured a good time. And I was sent to Firth, Germany, which was only 25 miles from the Czech border,
Mm-hmm.
in the 4th Armored Division. And we were there as a speed bump to slow the Russians down if they invaded Germany. Because they really thought they were going to do it. There was very much concern about it.
Huh.
And
Wow.
they sent a ton of us there. I mean, when I got there, they didn't have room for us. There was so many sent.
1968.
Yes.
So Germany pretty much already kind of built up after the Second World War. Then by then.
Yeah, it was still
okay.
was a split country. We had
Yeah.
West Germany and East Germany back then.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
See, I mean, they changed the late 80s when the Berlin Wall came down,
Mm-hmm.
and people that that are pretty old now don't even remember what it was like.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a camera, a 35 millimeter camera, an Exacta, which is a German camera, and mine was made and says right on it, East Germany.
Mm.
Still got that camera. Probably
Yeah.
worth a fortune now.
Who was president then? Was that
Well, at that time it was Johnson,
Johnson?
and then Nixon took over
Yeah,
in 1969. He won the election.
yeah.
In the 68 election, he took over in January of 69.
Mm. So you're talking about time flying earlier. So how
Yeah.
fast it's going. So you remember that time?
When you look back,
Yeah,
time is flying. It didn't seem like that long ago I was there,
yeah.
but
You still got the camera.
I still got the camera. And if I need to collect it, I also got a book on how to use it and all that other stuff. But yeah, it's one of the. I got a poster over here that I have, and it says 68 right on it. 69 because I got there in December of 68. But it's a poster announcing a ball in February. Like we have Mardi Gras here,
Mm-hmm.
the Germans have a celebration called Fasching. And they have a big, and all the kids dress up in costumes. The number one costume for boys in Germany
Mm-hmm.
was cowboys.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, they loved American cowboys, dress up like cowboys.
Oh,
They probably got it from the movies.
watching the Lone Ranger or something back
Yeah,
then? Or something?
yeah. And, but they would, a Fasching ball was a big party, and it was at the Crystal Palace. And I'll show you when you're on the way out.
Yeah.
I kept that poster, all written in German.
Wow.
But it was interesting. I got to see a lot, got to learn a lot, and I enjoyed it.
Then when you came back here, you met your wife.
I had met her before.
You met her before.
Oh yeah, we
Oh,
had known.
you were
We
married?
had dated prior.
Oh, you're dated, okay.
Then we broke up, and we got back together. She started writing to me, and
You broke up and you went to Germany?
no, I'd broken up before, well before that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well before that. Oh yeah.
All right.
But while I was there, somebody gave her my address, and she had written to me. And the girl I was going out with when I left for Germany
Yeah.
had sent me a Dear John. I don't know if you know what a Dear John
That's
is.
like see you later kind of
Yeah.
a letter, yeah.
Yeah, when you're away from home, you get the Dear John.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those were very common for GIs to get.
Uh,
Fortunately, it didn't bother me much, and I just, well, hey,
Yeah.
it is what it is, and I'll survive. Well, then later on, months later, she started writing me. We started writing back and forth. Came home. We finally got together again, and we stayed together, and then we ended up getting married.
Did she hear that the other girl had sent you a Dear John letter?
No,
No?
no, she just wrote to me because she thought she'd send a letter to say hello.
Oh.
You know, I was overseas, and
Then you came back and got married.
you know, back then, today guys go overseas. They communicate on Facebook,
Yeah.
on a computer, on Skype, and everything else. All we communicated was with letters.
Yeah.
You know, my mother was faithful. She wrote every week, and
Mm.
you always like getting letters. In fact, at the time, a state senator who held the same seat that Ryan Fatman has now, his name was Jim Kelly from Oxford. My mother happened to know him and told him that I was overseas. He said, "Oh, give me his address," and he sent me a package as a state senator. The Army opened it because they wanted to see if I was complaining about something. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he said he had just sent me a map and some stuff about Massachusetts, and
Yeah.
just to say hello.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like they do today. I mean, you know, people do write to, like you have school kids send packages, and they send packages from home.
Mm.
But because you know, hey, you're a young kid, and you're away from home. You know, I got there. I got to Germany around December 15th. So with 10 days outside of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And Christmas is a very, very big holiday in Germany.
Mm.
Germany invented the Christmas tree.
Oh.
Yeah, Tannenbaum. And I had just got there. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know what to have anything to do. I didn't know what to do. Christmas Eve, I remember going down to Firth and just walking around. Nothing was open.
Mm.
All was still, and it's an old city. It's an old, with the cobblestones and the old buildings. And, you know, it's like an old medieval city.
Yeah.
It was very lonesome.
Mm.
I'll never forget that. It was the most lonesome Christmas I ever had.
So you were like, what, 19, 18?
Yeah, at the time I would have been 20 at the time.
20.
I turned 21.
And you didn't speak the language?
No, I had just gotten there. I didn't know much of anything.
It's almost Christmas time, but you
Yeah.
don't have anybody to spend time with.
No.
Mm.
And the
Wow.
following year, though, I'd gotten to know people. And the following Christmas, Christmas Eve, I spent at a home, an apartment in Germany,
Mm.
with my roommate girlfriend, and they had a Christmas tree with real candles.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but back then they used to, yeah.
Well, this
Quite
is
dangerous.
68. We weren't doing that in America, but they were. My
Yeah.
grandmother would have real candles on the tree.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But they only put the tree up the night before. So you only had it up for one night,
Yeah.
and you burned the candles.
Put candles in it. Keep an eye on it.
Yeah. And when you went to bed, they blew the candles out.
Wow.
But I walked in the house and I said, "Oh my God, those are real candles!"
So they have to be like kind of small candles,
Yeah.
not too big. so
And they had
can
a
stand.
strap like that held them to the branch,
Yeah.
and she lit every one of them. I said,
It
"I
probably
can't-"
looked beautiful though.
"Oh, it was something
Yeah.
to see." I mean,
No
But-
tinsel though.
no tinsel. All we had was candles.
Oh, that's nice. That's beautiful.
And if I can remember right, I mean, I'm going back 50 years now. Can you
all right.
imagine that? 50 years ago.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. 68. We've been 50. Well, I'm going back 49 years because it was '69 when I saw that tree.
Yeah. And that same year, or the next year you came back and you get married, or was it the same year that you came back?
I got married in '71.
71.
I came back in March of '70.
Yeah.
Got married in
Because
'71.
you told me you've been married now for
47 years.
47 years, okay.
Going on 48 in September of 2019. We're 2 years away from our 50th.
Wow.
And it doesn't seem like 50 years.
Well,
I don't know where the time went.
it's a great, I love a phrase. There's a song called The Joy of Living.
Yes.
It's sang by, it was written by Ewan MacColl. It's a Scottish singer. And I think he borrowed a piece of it from scripture, a line that he puts in there, but he changed it a little bit. But the scripture says, years pass by with the speed of birds in flight. And so it's the actual phrase is that he took from scripture. It probably, I think, it relates to how time passes like an eagle that hastens to its prey. And I love that. I love that phrase because it passes really fast, but you don't realize how fast it passes until you're at a certain juncture in your life and you look back, like you said.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, it seems like yesterday.
Yeah, where did it go?
Yeah.
Oh, I know
It's pretty amazing.
When you look back, memories are strange because it looks like it wasn't that long ago.
Mm.
But it was.
So what was some of the one really fun memory back in Germany besides the tree then? Because that sounds like that was a lot of.
Well, probably, there was a guy from town here. His name was Steve Molly. And he lived up on Fuller Road, but then his family moved down to the Cape.
Mm-hmm.
They had a house on the Cape, and he moved down here. And Steve was in the Guard, but he missed a couple of meetings, so they activated him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I ran into him at Fort Dix when I was there, and he was on his way to Germany. So, well, I'm in Germany now, and I'm working. I called it Charger Quarters, CQ. At night, you would sit in the office, the company office, and answer the phone, or if anything happened, you were actually basically on guard all night. Well, anyway, I'm sitting there, and the phone rings, and I answer the phone. I say, headquarters company, 504th S&T, Specialist Berkowitz speaking, and this guy says, "Hey, how's things in Rockdale?" Huh? Who's that? It was him.
Yeah.
He called me. He was about 100 miles away in a place called Schwäbisch Gmünd.
Yeah.
And he called me. So I got on the train and went down and see him. I spent the weekend down there. Had a heck of a great time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was something else. He was stationed at a Pershing missile base. But it was something else. We got a phone call here. See, someone here is talking here and they want to get into it.
All right.
Go ahead, you're on. Oh, wait a minute. That speaker button doesn't work well. Okay.
Yeah, how you doing?
All right. Hey, Tom.
Yeah, I hear talking about the old days.
Yeah.
51 years ago, I was in Vietnam.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, and my name's on that little monument there. So
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your service.
time's going by too fast.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
You wonder where
Yeah, it seems like it was yesterday, but boy, 50 years is a long time.
it is. But it seems like yesterday.
Mm.
I bet you still remember your serial number.
Oh yeah, US 51 729 840.
Yeah, US 51614746.
See?
I remember that number. I might forget my phone number, but I remember that one.
I can remember the serial number of my rifle in basic training.
Oh no, you're kidding.
728 240. Because you had to have that memorized.
Oh yeah, you have to know all kinds of that. Yeah.
And it's just stuck with me. Of course, I was a company armor after, so.
Yeah, it was. I think it was was good for us. You grew up. You learned how to take care of yourself.
Exactly. Oh, you had no choice.
You know, like when we were home, my mother used to do my wash for me, make my bed and all that stuff.
Yep.
I got in the service. I had to do all that.
Yeah.
It's good for you.
Oh, yeah. You learn to take care of yourself. You do. You know,
I mean,
you were there in 60. You were there in 67.
I went to Vietnam in April of 67. I got to 68. I first had offensive. Then I came home.
Right. Well,
And almost did the same exact thing. Like I was going out with, and we're going to have 50 years next year. So.
Well, I'm going to say, the reason I say that is 67 was probably the best year of my life. The summer of 67, a summer of love.
I think it was the worst.
Yeah, for you. I didn't want to go because I had just come off the best year of my life. I had more fun in 67 than I ever had. You know, raising hell and just being with all my friends, and you know, it was a good time. You know, hanging around New Pond and whatever. And now I was working for Christie and Thompson. I loved it in Whitensville. I had a great job. And they took me away.
Yeah, Uncle Sam had a good way of doing that.
Yeah.
They sent you a nice letter, said greeting, you have been selected. You know, I mean, so
Well-
kind of important.
Well, you knew you were going because prior to them getting that letter, they would send you a letter telling you to go for a physical
A Boston Navy Yard.
at the Boston Army Base,
Yeah.
which is
Army base, I meant.
yeah,
Yeah, I went there.
which is closed now.
Yeah.
But
There's a lot of guys went through there.
yeah, oh yeah, they brought you in for the physical, and then about 2 months later, if you were all right, you got to go in for another physical. But this time you weren't coming home.
I went to that one in November, and in February I was drafted.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
See,
I
a couple months later, they draft you.
Yeah, when I got my notice, when I had to go down, I had to go down to the Baker building and get the bus.
That's where I got it from
I
too.
told my I told my mother, don't wait up, I won't be home.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
You caught the bus at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and then we got the train in Blackstone and went into Boston.
Oh, they took us by bus right into Boston.
Yeah, and I can always remember I got sworn in by a Marine lieutenant.
Uh-huh. Well, when I was
He had,
there,
he had a scar on the side of his face. And they said, take one step forward. I should have took one step back, but I didn't think of that. Wasn't fast enough.
you know, when I was there, the Marines couldn't get enough guys. So
Yeah,
they were drafting into the Marine Corps.
Yep.
And this sergeant comes over and he says, okay, let's have a line right here. Everybody lines up. This is the day I got drafted, okay? We weren't even in yet. Sworn in yet. Line up. So everybody lines up. Okay, I want from 1 to 10. You come with me. I was the 11th guy. Those first 10 guys went to the Marines.
Oh.
Yeah, they took 5 from my group.
Yeah.
And they went in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
And I always remember they took the first 4, last one was D. So they needed one more guy. And they said, oh, no, F. I don't want. So this kid I went from Grafton, his name was Zanowski. Began with a Z.
Yeah.
Last guy he picked was him. Said Zanowski.
Boy, you're lucky you had a D in front of you there.
And the thing is, the kid would have, you know, his name began with Z, so he figured, no, alphabetically, never touch him. So
Yeah.
He starts saying something, and the Marine says, come here, boy, you're a Marine.
Yeah, see, I was lucky. They did the same thing. That was alphabetical.
Yeah.
But he only needed 10, and there were enough A's and B's ahead of me that I didn't get hit.
Yeah.
I was the 11th guy. I almost got it.
Yeah, I'll tell you though, we can laugh about it now, but we weren't laughing then.
No.
It was a whole strange thing, because we got on the bus, They took us down to Fort Dick.
Yep.
No sooner we started getting off the bus, guys are yelling at us.
Yep.
And I said, oh, this is not going to be good. But I survived it, and I'm proud I served.
Well, you know, I had orders after basic training for engineer school, line engineer. And you know, those guys didn't have a good shelf life in Nam.
No.
But
But
what
you know
happened?
yourself, the Army,
Huh?
wherever they sent you, that's where you went.
Yeah,
Your orders were your orders.
yeah. Well, I had orders to go to Fort Belvoir, to go to engineer school for line engineer. But what happened, I broke my elbow. I fell on my elbow carrying a guy, and it's still my one hand shorter than the other because they never fixed it right.
Ah,
But it held me over. So they said, "Oh, we can't send you to we can't send you to engineer school now." They held me over at Fort Dix. Didn't know what to do with me. So they made me a company armor. I became a company armor in supply. And then when they needed me for Germany, they sent me there. So, I mean,
could have been worse.
you never know how things are going to happen. You know, you don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, well, I just started calling. I like reminisce about the old days. Pretty good. Who's the gentleman with you?
This is Miguel.
Ah. Well, nice meeting you, Miguel.
Nice meeting you. Thank you for
Okay,
your
Harry.
thank you for your
You
service.
take care.
All right.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year.
If I don't see you.
All
All
right.
right. Take care. All right.
It's actually kind of fitting that we have the memorial behind us.
Yes.
What we talked
Yes.
about.
We're going to talk a little bit about Miguel here because a lot of people know me. I've been in town now for 70 years, so.
I didn't go to war.
No. Well, Miguel is from Venezuela.
Yep.
A small village or
Venezuela, it's
we're a village
country.
or a city or
oh, in Venezuela. Well, I lived in both. I lived in a small town when I was in Venezuela for a little bit. Then we moved to a little bigger town, and then the last 8 years before we came here, I lived in Caracas, which is the main city, the big
right, the
metropolis,
largest
yeah.
city, right?
Largest city, yeah. The biggest
Capital.
Capital. That's right. Yeah.
And your parents immigrated here.
Yep.
Of course, they took you with them. They were going to leave you behind.
They brought me. They brought me. Yeah, they brought me, my sister, my older brother, and my younger brother.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And you immigrated to Boston?
Went straight to Boston. Yeah,
Yes.
right to Boston.
And he came here legally, guys. Okay?
Yes, I did.
He-
Venezuela's quite a walk, so I had to.
yeah. Because, I mean, there is legal immigration. People don't realize there's a tremendous amount of legal
There is.
immigration.
There is. Yeah.
And you came here and you went to school in Boston. And, you were telling me earlier, before, about how he went to school in Boston, and the first school you went to was not bilingual.
Yeah. Well, the first school that I went to is because we just moved into the neighborhood, and there was a school up the street. It was right in.
What's the neighborhood?
It's Huntington Avenue in
Yeah,
right in
okay.
Boston. And so there was a school right
Kind
up
of
the
the
street.
back bay.
Kind of like a little bit further, but
Yeah.
kind of around there. Like you have the Northeastern University there. You have the Museum of Fine Arts. You have Huntington Avenue. You have a couple
Symphony
of
Hall.
colleges, and Symphony Hall is around that area. Yeah, also.
Yeah, you got a lot of schools right there. In fact,
A
I
lot
think
of schools. A lot of schools.
Boston University's kind of taken over that whole area.
Yeah, that was the reason. One of the main reasons my parents wanted to come here, because they thought in Boston, the schools
for
and
the
so
schools.
forth. Yeah. So
A lot of people come to Boston for the schools. There's a lot of them there.
yeah. So
And-
anyway, as you were saying, I went to that school right away. The English-speaking school, and my mother was actually. I think she was actively looking for another school, and I think that she had heard about the bilingual school. But until then, I was in that school,
Right.
until only speaking, and I was there for maybe two or 3 weeks, if I remember correctly. And about the last week that I was there, I was starting to pick up the language. That's
Yeah,
what
because
I
now you
call it.
had no,
I had to really pick it up.
but you had no English influence prior to that,
I
right?
had I didn't know any English at all.
None at all.
None at all. But I was getting help in the school by the people and trying to explain to me,
Yeah.
And so but I felt that that need that I have to learn this because I have to navigate around here. And so
Yeah.
I started actually learning the English. I started getting along in there,
Yep.
and then 3 weeks after that, I was put right into a bilingual school. And it's in hindsight that I say this because I thought what I told you the last time we talked was that in the bilingual school I didn't have to learn the English,
Right.
and so
Yeah, 'cause you
later
didn't
on,
have to learn it. You didn't try.
yeah, and later on in life I realized, oh, I learned more English in that school in the 3 weeks that I was there than
Yeah, you found the teachers and your other
Yeah.
students were, sympathetic to you. Didn't try to cheat you or didn't try to fool you. They told
No.
you,
And you have to because you have to learn it. So
yeah,
if you go to another country and you have to learn the language, you don't have a lot of aids, then you learn
Right.
it. You will pick it up. You will do it somehow because you have to. It's a necessity. But if you don't have to, then you take your time.
yeah.
So
Now, did you learn the swear words first?
the swear words, I don't remember. I don't remember.
That
what
seems to happen, It's no matter where you go.
Probably the bad jokes first.
Out to Germany,
But I
I
probably
picked up
did.
a lot of the vulgar language because that's what
Yeah,
you.
well, that's the
picked up
first thing they
quick
teach you, yeah.
For some reason, you picked it up quick. Well, they had one. There was one word that it was not German. It was developed by the GIs.
Yeah.
It was the
Fubar?
word was
No
was-
fubar, huh?
no Max Nix,
Max Nix, okay.
which meant nothing. But people used it all the time.
Yeah.
But it was not a German word, but it sounded German.
Who made it up?
It came from after World War II with the GIs and the occupation, and guys would say it all the time.
The Americans made up that word you're saying.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's what I'm getting up from the German people. They said it doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything. It's not a German word. I mean, I went. You were in slang, it's not slang, but phrases that you need.
Yeah.
Like, was ist los mit du? What's happening with you? I still remember,
Mm.
but yeah, you pick it up out of necessity.
You pick
But
it
of
up,
course,
yeah.
in Germany, in Europe, anywhere in Europe,
Mhm.
people speak bilingual. They learn it in
Yeah.
school from day one
Mhm.
because they know English is the best language for trade.
Mm.
So they learn it. The French are less apt to because they're very hot on keeping their language
Mm.
by law.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. I met somebody from France one time. It was a couple of missionaries actually one time. That they were American, but they went to France. And I remember one thing that they said was, in France, if you don't speak French and you're learning French, they want you to speak it well.
Yes. They're very, very conscientious of their language.
yeah.
The French are very conscientious of their language.
Huh.
And they want to maintain it. And they don't
Huh.
want to lose it.
That's interesting. Huh.
They're getting a lot of Middle Eastern people going into France.
Mm.
And they're trying to change it and make an Arabic more prevalent. And the French passed laws to prevent it.
Really?
Yeah, because they're dead against that.
They're really.
And then if you go to look at Canada.
Mhm.
Canada requires bilingual on everything.
Hmm.
If you buy something from Canada, it'll be in French and English because of Quebec,
Yeah.
which is a French province. I've been up to Quebec. Wife and I, in fact, our first anniversary, we drove up to Quebec.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to Montreal. And we go to a French restaurant. My wife is 100% French Canadian. Her mother and father speak fluent French Canadian, but like me, she didn't learn the language. I grew up in Rockdale, which was French, but I didn't learn it. But we're in the restaurant, and the whole menu's in French.
Is that right?
So we what to order. But I looked at, I said, look, here's something you're gonna like. She likes meat pie, French meat pie. I said,
Yeah.
I know that word, touquet. That's French meat pie. So I
Is
said,
that what it
order the
is?
touquet, you'll be all set.
You know, it's funny when I first came to this country, when I was 14 years old. We went to. I come from Venezuela. In Venezuela, coffee is big.
Oh, yes,
So
yes.
if you drink coffee,
Well, you're coffee producing state, right?
Yeah, Colombia is more
Yeah.
coffee, but Venezuela, everybody loves coffee. But if you go to any store, you ask for a cup of coffee, they give you what they would give you here if you want to an espresso latte place. That's a regular coffee over there.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
so that's
Espresso coffee?
espresso or latte for the works.
Yep.
That's like a regular coffee.
Well, espresso is a real heavy duty coffee.
Yeah, but it's more involved. The funny
Yeah.
thing is that when I came to this country first, and we went to a little cafe in Belmont, and
They give you the watered down coffee.
well, it's the first time I'm sitting at the restaurant, so they give me we got breakfast, and then they brought the coffee, and I saw the cup of coffee. They brought me a cup of coffee about this big.
Yeah, you couldn't understand why it was so big, right?
It was all black coffee.
Yeah.
And I thought that could kill me because I'm thinking that's like the coffee back in Venezuela. That's like way too much coffee. And then they gave me
Yeah, because espresso is heavy duty.
yeah, but that's like I can't. That's a lot. So and then they gave me the little cream things, the little cream things.
Yeah.
I said, what the heck is this? So I opened it up and I drank it like this. Thinking, I don't give you a lot of milk or anything, to drink.
What are you doing?
And then I realized, oh no, you got to put that in there. So I said, okay, so I put one in there, and I saw the coffee change. Is somebody in there?
Yeah, we got to call.
Oh, let's get that.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Go ahead, you're on. Oh, they hung up.
Oh.
They hung up. Oh, it didn't go through?
Line 2.
Oh, line 2. It didn't. Go ahead, you're on.
Now I can hear you, Harry.
All right, Amy.
How we doing?
Okay, Happy New Year.
Happy
Same
New
to
Year.
you. How you doing, Miguel?
Good. How are you? Happy New
Good.
Year.
Happy New Year to you, my friend. Got a little bit of a cold, so if I start sneezing or I'm raspy,
Oh, rough time of year to get one.
please bear with me. I wish Russ had been on because 3 days ago I stopped wearing shorts and wore long pants. He was always asking me about my shorts and says to me, "Are you nuts?" And I said, "Russ, you've known me long enough to know the answer to that one. That's a softball." And started wearing jeans, long pants, and now I've kind of caught a little bit of a cold, which I'm not complaining, And so
You know, you mentioned something that really makes me wonder. I see these people running around with T-shirts and shorts.
Yep.
How the hell can they stand it?
Well, the day we had the snow at 6-7 inches, I had sweatpants on and went out and did that, and the rest of the way, or whatever, it just, I can handle it. I'm not going to stand out there all day in shorts, but to go to the car, to go to a building, to walk out, whatever, I mean,
I can't stand on a porch without a coat on for crying out loud.
well, you know what? The killer's really been the wind, because we've been
Yes.
very fortunate in regards to this year.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
wind chill will kill you.
Although I deal with it all, it doesn't bother me. So I just wanted to call, and first one is make a comment, and then I have a question.
Sure.
I currently live up at Lake Terrace. March will be about 6 years, and I've been here all my life, and running for selectman. I can remember the first candidates night. One of the panelists asked, "What's your top priority?" I said, "I give you my top 3: public safety, public safety, public safety, and the rest of them get in line." And I said, if they can't do that, we can't do that. Let's shut the town down. So I've always been a public safety person, and I know you're aware of that.
Oh, yeah.
Having lived up here at Lake Terrace, I'll tell you, between the sheriff's office, cruisers, the fire department, backup fire, I mean, they hear all the time.
Really, at Lake Terrace?
Oh, it's unbelievable, Harry. It's unbelievable. We had a death here the other night. You know the gentleman, his brother passed away.
Oh, I'm not sure, but
A former realtor in town.
oh,
You'll figure out who it is. But anyway, they come up here, and we had one guy that OD'd, and I was out there. I knew the guy. I drove up. I saw him. Just happened to see him laying out in the cement.
now we're talking people in their 60s and 70s, right?
Oh yeah, we're not talking spring chickens, Harry.
Yeah. So
and he was
that's
laying
how.
there, so I went up to see him, and a lot of times he's a kidder in it, and he's OD'ing.
He's ODing. He's on his way out. So the 911 got him up there. And point I'm trying to make is whether it's a fire or whatever it is, call for the police and so someone passed away in the building. The men and women, guys and girls, I mean, they are just so unbelievably professional, polite,
Oh yeah.
prompt.
Oh no, they do a great job.
Oh, it's just unbelievable. This guy of mine, a friend of mine that OD'd, about 3/4 of the way on the way to Milford, they got him up and about, and he said the first thing I saw when I, came out of the white, whatever you want to call it, he says, was your face, and he says, I just want to go back and die. Well, so I said, well, at least you still have a sense of humor. But what I tell you, you get to see it on a daily basis here, and the guys and girls that come up here, I'm telling you, they are just unbelievable.
Well, we are in a generation that really broke through the drug use, became more popular.
Yep.
So that's why you see it, and we're all elderly now.
Yeah, and
I don't like to consider it.
I hope the people in town appreciate it. And I remember, back when I was on the board, you basically had to be an EMT. Now you have to be,
Paramedic.
Dr. Kildare to even get on the fire department. I mean, you really have to be.
Oh no, these
trained,
guys
even
are
psychologically trained.
Yeah, but they're a step below being
same thing with
doctors.
Police, I mean, whoever comes up here is just unbelievable, and I just want to say, as far as I'm concerned, my faith in public safety, boy, if anyone ever wants to live in this town, wants public safety, come live in this town, because they are phenomenal, and they deserve a lot of credit, and I think, until you've really dealt with them on a first-rate basis, a personal rate basis, you don't really appreciate what an unbelievable job they do, and a thankless job,
Yep.
And they have to go home with these sad stories, and they've got to be tough to deal with, but they come every day to work, and they care, and I just want to say to them, all of them, Happy New Year, and thank you for the great job you do. There are a lot of people out there that appreciate it, and sometimes I'm sure they probably feel like people take them for granted. But I'll tell you out there, I don't take you for granted. I think you're the greatest.
No, they do a great job.
Unbelievable.
I had an experience about almost a year now.
Yep.
Where I fell down in the house and split my head open, and I was home alone.
Yeah.
But I didn't get knocked out, but it wouldn't stop bleeding. And I guess there's a lot of blood in your scalp.
Yeah.
And so I called because I couldn't stop the bleeding.
Yeah, not a good sign, Harry, when it won't stop bleeding.
Yeah, and and they're making a mess in the house.
Yep.
And they came and took me by ambulance to Milford Hospital, sewed it up and everything. But they were excellent, extremely professional.
Unbelievable.
And they do a great job. I mean, they stopped it right away when they got a hold of it.
Yeah, they're great. And the other thing I wanted to basically ask, now that I've made my comment, and I hope some of these people are hearing my voice to hear about it, and like I said, I hope there's people out there who just take a minute and say thank you when you see these guys and girls, because they deserve it. The question I have is, and maybe we haven't progressed at all, where are we in regards to public access, them trying to take that away? I mean, what point are we at? What age are we at? Or are we kind of just where we were before, and there'll be a period of time before we
we're waiting for...
Just update the town a little bit, if you don't
All
mind.
I know is that we're waiting for a decision from the FCC, which they said they would give sometime in January.
January, okay.
But from what I understand, they've gotten a tremendous amount of response from Massachusetts.
Good.
And, I don't know what's going to happen. I know that we belong to an organization, Mass Access, who is ready to bring a lawsuit against the FCC if they rule in disfavor to us. So I don't know what's going to happen. We just only get waited out right now.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
people,
so
I
right
think
now we're kind of just
you can
in
still
limbo,
contact.
and hopefully we're going to hear something. We're going to hear the next step.
Right. You can still contact the FCC on it.
Yeah. Okay, I was just curious.
And you can do
'cause
that
actually
online.
I knew you would know, being on the board and
Right.
all that good old stuff. And a few people have asked me, what's going on with all this, and there's some of them think the cable's coming down, and they said no, they're talking about local and.
I can tell you this, as far as I'm concerned, if they rule that they don't have to fund us any longer, and that Charter does away with these three channels, I'm going to tell everyone to drop Charter. You can get your entertainment. You can get all the shows that you get on Charter through Roku or through the internet. You might have to keep their internet service, but you can drop their cable service and get rid of the cable box. Buy a Roku, you'll own it. You won't have to pay rental on it.
Yeah.
It's a little harder to maneuver through it, but you'll learn it.
Yeah, I've heard you speak about it, and a lot of people, just don't fully understand it, like I don't, and it's kind of a good thing to know as we go. So.
Well, we get funded by Charter, and it's required. Now,
Correct.
that's the other thing.
Part of the contract.
I don't think the FCC can rule that they can no longer have to fund us, because that is written into the cable law by Congress.
When does this current contract expire?
Oh, not another 2 years.
2
It's
years,
a 10-year
okay.
contract.
Not that far away, so. Okay.
Or maybe 3 years. I can't off the top of my head
from
remember what year. I think it was 2013, so it'd be 2023.
Okay, myself and other people out there, and once again, Miguel and Harry, have a happy New Year and a healthy New Year, and I'll be talking to you soon. Take care.
Happy New
All
Year.
right. Yeah, we're getting the calls, but now I've lost track. we're talking about the fact that you'd be a bilingual, but you after you went to school in the Boston public school systems, you went to college in Boston.
Went to Mass College of Art. Yeah.
Yeah, where you met your future wife.
That's where I met my future wife.
And you end up married with 2 daughters?
We have 3 daughters.
3 daughters.
3 daughters, yeah.
And you were living out in the Waltham area or something, weren't you?
We lived, when we were going to school, we lived in Dorchester.
Okay. Were you married while you were
then-
going to school?
No, we met in school. But
Yeah. Well, you
we
both
were,
you graduated before you got married.
yeah. I met her in Jamaica Plain, where I also lived while I was going to school.
Oh,
So
and you just happened both be going to the same
we were
school,
both going to the same school. Yeah.
but didn't know it.
I didn't know it. No.
Isn't that something, huh?
So then when we got married, we moved to Belmont, and
Yep.
then we lived there, and that's where we had our first 2 daughters. Then we moved to Waltham, and then we had our 3rd daughter, and then from Waltham we were looking for a place where we wanted to. We were living in the house of a very, very nice older couple from the church that we were going to, and they were very nice, and they really made the rent very reasonable for us. But
Right.
he passed, and then his wife had to sell the house. And
Oh, and of course the
so-
new owner isn't going to give you the same rent deal.
Well, and also the housing market in Waltham, and at that time was just outrageous. So we
It's still
figured-
pretty high.
It is. It goes up and down, but at the time it was just crazy, and so.
At
So-
one time, there was a house, a small cape
Mhm.
in, what's the name of the town, just outside of Boston? One of the very well-to-do towns.
Mhm.
A small cape sold for $1 million.
Oh, you're probably talking about Newton. Probably.
Not Newton, but right nearby.
Watertown, any of those.
Yeah, I'm trying. If I heard the name, I would know it in a minute. But anyway, yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean,
it's
yeah,
crazy.
it was unbelievable amount of money.
Yeah. So that's why we decided we should probably buy a house so so we don't have to run into this predicament again.
But now you gotta look further west to be able to find something
Yeah,
you
we
can
had to
afford.
look further west to find something we could afford, and we bought a half a duplex in Forest Street
Ah,
down in Waynesville.
yeah,
And so I fixed it all up nice, and I painted it outside. Every house that I lived in, I painted. Just when we were in Belmont, I painted the house.
Yeah.
When we were in Waltham, I painted the house too. And then we moved to Waynesville, and I painted the house inside and out. And the outside, the duplexes in Forest Street, that one still had the columns on it.
yes,
And a lot of the other ones have vinyl on, so they covered all that beautiful.
yeah.
And I didn't want to get rid of that, so I scraped all the old paint out with
Wow.
with a heat gun and painted the whole house.
Yeah, a
And
lot
it
of, when they
looked nice.
sided these houses, they took away a lot of the architecture that was
Yeah,
on.
yeah, they're very nice. If those the duplexes used to have on the top on the front door they used to have a window,
Yes.
and this one had one too, but they covered it.
Ah,
So I just so it retained the thing. But one thing I remember is that it was all lead paint.
yeah.
that I was in. So I do remember one time when I was heating up with the paint with the heat gun, I almost felt that I kind of just my mind went blank for a second. I thought, man, this paint is really messing me up. It's just
Wow.
not just, but then it went away eventually.
Well,
Probably
now, you know, if they find lead paint, they come in with the hazmat suits
oh
and
yeah,
cover
yeah.
the whole house and,
Yeah, if they we had to in one house that we went actually when we were living in Belmont because we have children, they talked to my landlord and they said you have to get rid of the paint up to a certain point.
yes,
a
up to,
certain
I think
height.
it's 3 or 4 feet.
Yeah, so he had to hire somebody to come in and get rid of all that, and so
At one point, they let you cover it over, but then they stopped doing that. They said you had to
Yeah.
get it out now.
yeah, I think
And extremely
asbestos.
expensive.
Asbestos, I think they let you either they leave it or they can copy because the duplex was asbestos. It's asbestos, so it's I mean.
Yeah, well, yeah, your heating system had a lot of
Yeah.
asbestos in it.
And the siding on the outside. Is
Oh, yes, the
asbestos,
old
yeah.
asbestos siding, yeah.
So unless you're cracking it and breathing it in, they said it's just leave it like that because it's a pretty serious
But, you know,
fix if you had to get
I
rid of
grew
it.
up with all that. They had lead paint up to 78.
Yeah, and look at us.
Yeah, it didn't affect me any, but I didn't go out and eat the dirt either. You know? I didn't chew on the windowsill.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. That's probably what
Right.
happened. A couple of kids spoiled it for the rest of us.
Right.
They were, chewing,
It made it a lot difficult.
they were chewing on the windows.
But, yeah, so who brought you out? The realtor, when you went to the realtor, they brought you out here, or did you find out on your own?
No, I think we hired a realtor, and we were
When you
looking-
tell them what you could afford, they brought you out this way.
Well, first we told them, let's look around what they have in Waltham.
Yeah.
In Waltham. And so he looked, I think it was a she or he, I don't remember, but she looked around and she gave us a couple of places and showed us the price. And said,
No way.
no, I don't think so. I don't think we can make that. So can we look at it further? So we kind of did a radius from where we were, maybe, I don't know, 25 miles or something, anything around here. And so hit upon Whitensville. And so we came to look at the duplex and said, okay, well, we can afford this.
Not too far to travel.
Yeah, it wasn't, I was working in Wellesley at the time, actually. So it was okay.
Was your wife working at the time?
Well, what's she doing? Well, she was working at home, I know that, with the kids. But
Yeah.
I think that's the time that she was beginning her business, actually.
Ah,
In
okay.
the basement, yeah. So in the basement, and actually she started in Waltham. I think she started working a little bit. In
Oh, so
the
wasn't
house.
that wasn't a problem for her, because it wasn't any problem for her. She wasn't going to commute anywhere.
Yeah, but it was very small when she started. Then we had it. She was working in the basement in Forest Street. So
That's when it started growing and
right there. And then from Forest Street we were going to move again, and we thought you can't really continue working and us moving. That's just going to be very hard.
Yeah.
You can't really do that at the same time we move. So we're going to have to put you in a separate place so you can that can continue while we do the moving and all this stuff. And
Oh, yeah, because you're
Uninterrupted.
not on Forest Street
Yeah.
any longer.
yeah, uninterrupted. So she moved to a little studio on Church Street, and right where right on top of where Many Creations is right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, right
So-
upstairs, Little
Yeah,
Man.
right upstairs, Little Man. And so that went well, but it was kind of a risk because we thought, well, we're gonna have to maintain the studio and the new house, and so. But it
Yeah,
worked
now you
well.
gotta pay rent.
You gotta pay rent for the studio too.
Pay
Rent
a
and
mortgage.
The heat. Yep. And now we gotta pay the mortgage, and so.
But it's worked out, and she's got a very successful business there, doing
She's doing
very
well.
well.
She's doing good. She's doing very good. Yeah.
You had a real good
I'm not
shop
planning to
small,
retire anytime soon. But
No.
she's doing pretty good.
And you work in leather out in Framingham.
I work in Framingham with it's a friend that has leather restoration, furniture restoration
Yep.
business. So he called me up and asked me, "Yeah, you want to see how it goes? You want to work for me?" And
They don't
so
do car interiors, do they?
He does. He
Oh.
does everything, but he started with car interiors and vinyl leathers and restaurants.
Oh, because we bought my wife's car, bought it new. I wanted leather seats.
Mm-hmm.
She liked the car that was on the lot,
Yeah.
but it didn't have leather seats, so they sent it out and had them installed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually better leather than you get when you buy it from the factory. A much smoother leather, softer. In fact, people who got leather seats in their cars from the factory would sit in my wife's car and say, "Oh, I like this much better,"
Yeah.
because it seems it's more comfortable leather.
So they made the seats
Yeah,
specifically.
They covered
or-
them.
Oh, yeah, okay. So they probably got to hide, and
Yeah.
yeah. That's what we do. We get hides, and work from that. So yeah,
Yeah, but, you got the ribs in it and the whole bit.
Yeah.
It looks like it's from the factory.
it looks yeah.
But I mean, leather is coming back more and more. People like a leather furniture. We have leather furniture right here.
Yeah, leather is good. It's expensive, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. People love their leather furniture. The people that we get that come to our place to have their furniture restored is because they fell in love with a chair or something on
Yes.
the couch, and they don't want to buy a new one. They just want to keep the same one they have. And
Well, years
it up.
ago, if you got a car. Well, cloth was the cheap seats.
mm-hmm.
Vinyl was the one. Was vinyl, but
Yeah.
vinyl doesn't stay up. Vinyl cracks easily. It
Yeah.
doesn't wear well. And I think it was Chrysler was the first one who started putting leather seats back in. If you went upgraded like Mercedes or something like that, you always they always had leather. But now it's become quite common with cars.
Wow.
And all 3 cars that I own have leather seats. I wouldn't have anything but leather now.
You're living it up.
Yeah, well, I think it's a lot better I buy used. My wife gets the new cars. I buy used.
Yeah.
I look for leather because that's what I want. It's more comfortable.
There's a better feel to leather.
Yes.
Yep.
And it's
Closer to
warmer
nature.
too. You sit on vinyl on a cold morning.
Yeah.
It's vinyl cold, and in the summer it's hot. Leather isn't. Leather it'll be a little hot, but it's not burning hot. Those vinyl seats would burn you for some reason, especially if you had black vinyl. But leather doesn't do that. So I'm saying it's good. It's a good way to go.
It's good.
But you're going to be a regular now. Miguel will be coming here on Wednesdays.
I am?
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to have you here.
Well, that's
Russ
good.
will be back next week. He's home this week with his grandchildren. They're all up here from New Jersey, so he's staying home and enjoying them. But
Well, anyway, what I was telling you earlier, if we have a couple of more minutes about the coffee.
yeah, yes,
The story
yeah,
about the coffee.
that's where we lost it.
Yeah. So my mother said, no, you're supposed to take that little milk
Yeah,
that
put
you
it-
drank and put it in the coffee, and it wasn't connecting with me. So I said, that's too much. That's not even going to make a dent. But I said, okay. So I put it in there, and I saw the coffee change, and it was just a strange thing to me, because it's in Venezuela the coffee is so dark that would not do anything to it.
Yeah, because it's an espresso.
Yeah, And then I drank it, and that was even worse.
Yeah,
When I
because it
tasted
tasted
that,
more like dishwater.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
But now I'm used to it. Now I can.
Well, see, I don't use anything. I drink my coffee black,
Yeah.
and I've done it for years. I love it black. I like the taste of coffee. I like the nutty taste of the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I like a dark roast because it's a little stronger. But yeah, if you're used to espresso, you can't drink a lot of it. Oh my
No,
God!
the espresso you drink a little bit, but when you have the lattes, because it's milk and an espresso.
Right, it's a
with
milk.
the
Yeah,
foam,
and they
so,
add the.
so it's robust, very
It's
robust.
about
coffee.
50%
Yeah.
milk too.
Yeah, so it's a
You have to
strong
put a
coffee.
lot of milk in it because it's so strong.
Yeah, yeah.
But you drink too many espressos, you ain't gonna sleep for a week.
Well, when my first daughter was born,
We got about 2 minutes.
my mother held her, and she had a cup of coffee with her, so she put her finger on the coffee and put it on her lips a little bit, just when she
Really?
was born. And my daughter, she never gave it up. She loves coffee. Even when she was little, she would pour herself a cup of coffee every morning. And I think that's what she got at my mother.
Now, do you still put milk and sugar in your coffee?
I heat up the milk, and I put sugar and milk.
See?
Yeah.
I
Every
used
morning.
to. That they call it Venetian coffee. It started
Yeah.
in Vienna.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that but that coffee used to be rough back then.
Yeah. Well, I know what you're saying. Some people say, like, if you leave it like that, you can taste the coffee,
Right.
but I like to put a little sugar in there.
Yeah.
Make it a little sweet.
Well, I started drinking black coffee when I was working for my career job,
Mm-hmm.
and I drank it. Well, actually, I was drinking without milk,
Yeah.
and someone said, "Why don't you get rid of the sugar too?" I said, "Yeah, I'll try
Oh.
that," and I did, and
Now you can really taste it now.
I always thought to myself, I was a big fan. I used to watch the Lone Ranger. Ever hear of Lone Ranger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about it earlier. Yeah.
And he always had coffee out in the trail.
Yeah.
Wait, you think he brought sugar and milk with him?
Yeah.
He drank
You have
it
to come over
black.
then. Come visit and I'll make you
Yeah.
a nice cup of coffee then. And you can drink it black if you want.
Yeah. And you want to talk about people liking coffee? All I heard about is Dunkin' Donuts was closed Christmas Day. People were all upset.
You know how many bags of Dunkin' Donuts coffee? I got 4 bags of Dunkin' Donuts coffee from 4 different people as a Christmas present.
You
So I
like
got
a
lot-
Dunkin' coffee,
I got a lot
huh?
of coffee. It's okay. I'm okay with it, but I got 4 of them at home that I'm going to be opening soon. And then my daughter gave me some coffee from Honduras.
Oh,
So I had some of that this morning.
yeah, I heard that's becoming bigger and bigger.
Coffee, you can't go wrong with coffee.
No.
Starbucks had a good idea when they said, "Ricky, let's do this thing." And now they're all over the
Well,
place.
we use the Keurig.
Yeah. That's a good way.
Yeah, and because we make our own coffee, when we feel like it, and
Mm-hmm.
I drink the Italian roast because I like that. It's a little bit-
Starbucks?
No, I buy the Shaw's brand.
Oh,
I don't-
Pete's coffee is pretty good too.
Yeah, I don't look for expensive coffee.
No?
The Best Buy, I get a big case of it
Yeah.
for $20.
Oh.
So I like that one. You know?
You sure that's coffee though?
Oh yeah, it tastes all right to me. You know?
Oh.
But I think some of these roasters, they put a fancy name on it and they charge you more.
Oh, no, it's better coffee though. It tastes better. It's a little stronger.
Dunkin' Donuts is going to be putting something in that coffee because they make people line up like you read about to get it. Hey, we got to be going.
Yep.
Okay? And we had a nice hour-long conversation here. We will see you maybe tomorrow night, depending if I guess going to be able to make it. But if not, Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
We'll see you in 2019 on Town Talk.